take you on a roller coaster ride today. And it started on May 17, 2012 in New Mexico. I still remember the sun shining through the window of my car. In the east, the Rocky Mountains. In the west, the high desert. And above me, the great sky of New Mexico. In the passenger seat next to me was my friend Tim. And we were going to go on an adventure. We were going to visit the D.H. Lawrence Ranch in 9,000 feet elevation. This was going to be a great day. Perfect day. I think she's next. Little did we know that this perfect day would turn into a nightmare. I remember driving on that road. It was straight as an arrow. But something was off. My vision was suddenly blurry. But I have a good vision normally. So what was happening? And next thing I knew, it was the road was spiraling and gyrating out of control into bizarre patterns. It felt like I looked through a kaleidoscope. The colors were yellow, orange, and bright red. I looked to the west, looked to the east. The Rocky Mountains suddenly were being transformed into vicious-looking, jagged teeth reaching into the crimson sky. I didn't know what was happening. And I kept driving. And suddenly, I knew I was stuck in a surreal nightmare. The next thing I knew, I blacked out, driving my car. Before I blacked out, my body was lifting out of I was lifting out my body. And I was watching my car helplessly as it was spinning out of control towards the Rio Grande River and certain death. Like I said, then I blacked out. A stroke, like a silent, ruthless predator, has hit me without warning, without mercy. So who of you thought that I would talk about my little arms? Oh, I thought so. It always happens. But as we are on the subject, many of you are wondering about it. In the late 1950s, early 1960s, doctors prescribed freely the drug thalidomide to pregnant women. Yeah, many of you probably still remember that. To pregnant women to alleviate morning sickness, anxiety, and insomnia.
And they beta tested it on pregnant women. Beta tested
it. Exactly. And the lady here said it. But it wasn't tested enough.
Yeah.
And that's why approximately 20,000 babies were born with never before seen disabilities. And I am one of them. 60% of the thalidomide babies never saw their first birthday. So you could say that I was born to be a survivor. And not only surviving, but thriving as a public speaker, as an author, as a mother and grandmother. Of three adorable little grandchildren. Ronan, Declan, and Kian, who we call Kiwi. Yes,
Kiwi.
Like the fruit.
Kiwi.
But when I look at my grandchildren, I'm wondering, how in the world did I take care of my son when he was a tiny little newborn? How did I dress him? How did I change his diapers? How did I even carry him? Some of you know me, and some of you heard about it. I, as a young person, I learned how to use my feet for all daily tasks. So in brief, what you do with your hands, I do with my feet. And another thing you should know about me. Most of my life, I have lived with a philosophy. The philosophy I have built for myself is called PUSH. P-U-S-H, an acronym. And it stands for persevere until success happens. And that's how I was able to change my son's diapers with my feet. And that's how I was able to dress the little guy in these tiny miniature outfits. And I'm telling you, many of you are mothers and maybe even grandmothers. Those little buttons on those outfits. I say no more. Those little zippers on those outfits, they are tough. But with the power of PUSH, I was able to close and open those buttons, close and open those little zippers. Another thing, it's more of a fun thing you should know about me. I am a real Barbie. Uh-huh. You should see my drawer of makeup at home. Every single color of lipstick, every single color of eyeshadow is there. I was fascinated with makeup from a very young age. And I applied makeup. I learned how to apply makeup with the toes of my left foot. I apply makeup this morning, even for you ladies. I apply makeup with my left foot. Eyeshadow, mascara, and eyeliner, and some lipstick or chapstick.
Wow.
But as you can imagine, my life was not always the blessed life of a Barbie. Because I encountered a lot of adversity in my life. When my son Nicolas was 5 years old, we lost his father. My husband, Jean-Paul, a beautiful Frenchman, we lost him due to a ruptured aneurysm.
Oh,
And here I was,
terrible loss.
suddenly a single mother, should I say single disabled mother, and I had very little money. We lived from paycheck to paycheck. I even had to go to Goodwill so I could buy for my son some clothes. I even had to go to the food bank so I could feed my son. It was not an easy life. But as you all know, eventually life evens out. And I found a better paying job. And life went smoothly again. Until the next adversity hit, which was in 2005. My son, Nicolas, at 21 years old, he was diagnosed with a very aggressive moving form of leukemia. How can this be? But something about my son. He also knows how to live with perseverance. He knows the magic of the power of push. And he pushed for 3.5 years through chemotherapy. And since 2008, my son Nicolas is cancer free. And that brings me back, because I'm doing a loop here, a circle. That brings me back to 2012. You remember? May 17, 2012. My lucky day. I can hear you thinking, huh? What? Did she say lucky day? Didn't she just say earlier that she had a stroke driving a car? Why is she saying it was a lucky day? Well, I'm telling you why it was a lucky day. Because I did not crash my car into the Rio Grande River. Because my friend, Tim, did not panic, but instead he grabbed the steering wheel in the last possible second. Otherwise, we would have plunged into depths of the river. Now imagine, northern New Mexico, the mountains. There is no cell phone reception. So you cannot just pick up your phone and call 911. According to Tim, because I was unconscious, according to Tim, he had to wait 20 or 25 minutes till a car came by, and because it was my lucky day, it was a cop car, it was a police officer. Imagine that. Yeah, that was lucky. That's why it was my lucky day. Whoop whoop! Let's those police officers. Yeah. The police officer was able to dispatch the life flight that could bring me down to Albuquerque so I could get treatment.
Yes.
But it wasn't that easy. Because again, imagine a remote, mountainous road in New Mexico. The helicopter could not land on the road. There were too many trees in the way. But the police officer remembered an empty field 4 or 5 miles up the road. And they put me in the police car and they drove me to that empty field. Well, thankfully, my lucky day again, thankfully, the life flight helicopter could land and finally could fly me to Albuquerque, where I received 2 hours, 45 minutes after the onset of my stroke. I finally received the TPA treatment. That's a powerful drug. It's a blood clot busting drug, which can make the difference between life and death. I woke up in the NICU, the Neuro Intensive Care Unit. This is not a place where you want to be. The worst of the worst cases end up there. I woke up to strange faces. I heard the noise of beeping machines. I was confused. But slowly, I understood the gravity of my situation. My entire left side was paralyzed. I could not walk. I could not speak. The foot, remember, this is my dominant foot, my left foot. The toes of my left foot looked like frozen claws. I could not move with the toes of my left foot. And the doctors, quite frankly, were not a whole lot of help. Because they told me the possibility of me speaking and walking again was very minute due to the massive stroke damage in my brain. Ha!
They don't know push.
Exactly, thank you. Exactly what I was going to say. They did not know push. They did not know who they are dealing with here. They are dealing with somebody who knows the power of push. That I know how to persevere until success happens. And I pushed for 360 days. And it truly, to the day, 360 days, I pushed through physical, occupational therapy, and also speech therapy. And everybody who knows me knows that I'm a very optimistic person. 360 days is a long time to be optimistic,
Yeah.
especially if you have setbacks. So I experienced the dark night of the soul. I encountered the snake of doubt and the snake of fear. It was hissing in my head. Hey, little girl, who do you think you are? You are never going to walk again. You are never going to talk again. What? You think you're going to be independent again? I don't think so. Huh. The snake of doubt had it coming. Because, as I said, I knew how to push. I knew how to persevere. Although I was afraid of the snake of doubt. But I was not going to fall as a victim to the snake of doubt. So I pushed and I pushed. And then suddenly I had an idea. How about taking all the lessons adversity has taught me and put it into a book so I can help hundreds and thousands of people, to help them to transform adversity into triumph, to transform adversity into success, whatever success means for everybody, it's different. So I kept hold on that thought. Yes, I have to do this. And that gave me again hope to continue pushing through the remainder of my rehabilitation stay. But nothing prepared me for the worst day of my life. That was the day when I realized that no matter how hard I pushed in physical and occupational therapy, my left arm would never move again. And no matter what our loss is, the fear that comes with the loss we experience can suffocate us. And I felt like suffocating. Again, I said, I'm not going to be a victim here. Yes, it is really not a good thing that my little left arm is not going to move. And I had to teach myself how to eat with my right arm. My right arm still moving. So thankfully I still have the use of my right arm. Adversity teaches us lessons. And adversity certainly has taught me a lot of lessons. I have only a little bit time with you today. If you buy my book, you can read right away all the lessons adversity has taught me. Today I have 3 lessons for you. The first lesson is a really good one. Every difficult journey starts with hope. Because when you experience adversity, it is easy to see yourself as a victim of circumstances. I certainly in my lifetime, I admit it, I saw myself part of my life as a victim. As a young person, I walked around everywhere, told everybody, I am a thalidomide victim. After my stroke, I walked around, I am a stroke victim. But in the end, I refused to become a victim because I had the goal of the book, to write this book, to help others. So my focus was not on me, poor me. It was on others, how I can help other people. So hope is the first lesson I have learned. The second one is action. Because if you don't have action, hope is a dream. Hope is just nothing really. It's a fire without fuel. Let's say it like that. I just made that up.
A fire without what?
Fire without fuel.
I love that.
I just made that up.
I love it.
But action's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, yeah. Just made it up. Anyway, hope by itself is only a dream. It's only a wish. So you have to follow it up with action. My action was 360 days in rehab. My action to inspire people was this book. Write this book. It took me, Ed earlier, my friend Ed, he asked me, how long did it take you to write a book? 1 year and 3 months of consistent effort. But that was my action, so I would not fall victim to my own thoughts, because I want to help others. And the third lesson, to me it is the best, to me it's priceless. When adversity comes along, ask yourself, how do you want to be remembered? What is the legacy you want to leave behind for your grandchildren, for your children, grandchildren, and maybe some of you, great-grandchildren, or for the people who love you? How do you want to be remembered? To me it was easy. I want Nicola, my son, Ronan, Declan, Kian, Kiwi, I want to remember them to remember me as a strong woman who had adversity, but who pushed and refused to give up, who refused to become a victim to her circumstances.
Wonderful.
Because it's true, yeah, in conclusion, I guess now, it is true. Adversity will find all of us. Adversity can take various shapes and forms. We cannot do anything about that, but we can definitely choose our action when adversity is happening to us. It's up to you. What do you want? Do you want to give in to adversity, to the fear of snake of fear, the snake of doubt? Do you want adversity to crush you? Or do you want to rise as a survivor, as a thriver, and use the magic power of push? The choice is up to you. I have 3 calls to action today for you ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, get my book today. It's right here. And you can read.
So close.
You can read all the incredible lessons adversity has taught me. And you don't need to have had a stroke. You don't need to have a disability. Adversity comes in so many different shapes and forms. And we all have experienced adversity. Number 2, go on my website. I think all of you have my business card in front of you, SabineBeckerSpeaks.com. And click on the link which says the Push Survival Guide. During my stroke, I had dreamt always to lead classes, to help people overcome their adversity and give them the tools so they can do that on their own. So I have now a class, the Push Survival course, and it's an 8-week class. And the benefits you will see are incredible. Check it out. Go on my website. And number 3, as you are on my website, on the main page this time, browse down to sponsorship opportunities. Because I give a lot of our speeches for free. I want to help so many people. I just can't do it by myself. If you sponsor me, they're a few bucks a month. I can bring these speeches for free and inspire, and together we can inspire, uplift, and get the message of push out there. Because if you think about it, the message of push is the message of hope. And we all know how much hope is needed in these days. And thank you so much, and I turn it back to Christine.
Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you so much.